Hi all. In the last class we have discussed what is the relation between the roots of characteristic polynomial and minimal polynomial. Today we have as a remark on the minimal polynomial. If t is diagonalizable, then the minimal polynomial is a product of distinct linear factor. So this is an important remark on the diagonalizable linear transformations. The minimal polynomial can be easily verified, okay, or later we will prove the converse is also true. The minimal polynomial is a product of distinct linear factor. You can get t as the diagonalizable linear operator. So for the time being we will prove this implication only. So the meaning of this is if c1, c2, etc., ck are the distinct characteristic values of t, then minimal polynomial of t say p of x takes the form x minus c1 etc. x minus ck. So this will be the form of the minimal polynomial if t is diagonalizable. Okay, here we use only one implication. So to prove this we need to prove that alpha is a minimal polynomial is this one. We need to prove that this is the least degree polynomial which annihilates t. Okay, since these are the distinct characteristic values, then the characteristic polynomial takes the form x minus c1 raised to d1 etc. x minus ck raised to dk. So this is the characteristic polynomial because these are the distinct characteristic values. If this is the characteristic polynomial, we can expect the minimal polynomial p of x or p as x minus c1 raised to e1 etc. x minus ck raised to ek. So we already proved the theorem that theorem 3 we have already shown that all the roots of minimal polynomial are the roots of the characteristic polynomial as well. The only difference is in the multiplicity. So we can never expect this even any of this ei equal to 0. If whenever one of these ei's is 0, then that corresponding ci will not be a root of the minimal polynomial. But we have assumed that c1, c2, ck are the roots of the characteristic polynomial as well. So the properties of these ei's are that ei should satisfy this relation. 0 is strictly greater than ei, that is less than or equal to di. So these are the only possibilities. That means 1 less than or equal to ei less than or equal to di are the possible values for this ei's. So the minimal such possibility, the minimal possible value is ei is equal to 1 for all I. So we will prove that this p of x is the minimal polynomial, or the least possibility of this is the minimal polynomial if t is diagonalizable. So in order to prove this is the minimal polynomial, first we will prove that p of t equal to 0. We know that p of t, by definition p of t is t minus c1i etc. T minus cky. So this is p of t. Okay, since this t is diagonalizable, then there exists a basis b consisting of the vectors alpha 1 etc. alpha n. Each of these vectors are alpha i's are characteristic vectors of t. Okay, now if we choose any alpha I belongs to this collection, then we know that there exists ci such that t minus ci I of alpha equal to 0. Okay, because that is the characteristic. That is this alpha I is a characteristic vector, means t alpha I is equal to ci alpha I for some ci. Okay, now we have t minus ci I of alpha I equal to 0. Okay, so for any alpha I belongs to this, we can get this result. That means if you choose an alpha I belongs to b, then you have p of t of alpha I that can be written as t minus c1 I. You can arrange these terms in any manner because we know that the polynomials are commutative ring, so you can easily this contains only the linear operator t, the terms of linear operator t, so you can easily change the positions of these factors. So we write this as t minus ci etc. At last we will write the corresponding term, the term corresponding to ci, that means t minus ci of alpha I, and we know that this is equal to 0, then this component is this image will be 0, that is equal to something of 0. Here all we have t minus c1i etc etc. We have the factors except for this. So we know that the image of 0 under any linear transformation is 0, so this will be 0, which shows that p of t of alpha equal to 0. Okay, for any alpha I belongs to this. Okay, and this is a basis. So if we choose an arbitrary element alpha belongs to V, which for any alpha can be written as some x1 alpha 1 plus etc xn alpha n, and we have proved that p of t of alpha, we have proved that p of t of alpha 1 is 0, p of t of alpha 2 is equal to 0 etc. So this will be 0 because of these facts, p of t of alpha 1 0, p of t of alpha 2 0, and all the images of alpha 1 alpha 2 alpha n under this p of t is equal to 0, consequently p of t alpha 0. So this shows that p of t is equal to 0. P of t is equal to a 0 transformation. So p of t is a 0 transformation, and we cannot expect any polynomial with a degree less than this, because this is the least possibility. So this will shows that this is the minimal degree polynomial which annihilates t. That means this p is the product of distinct linear factor. We can avoid, we cannot avoid any one of these factors, because all the characteristic values are the zeros of minimal polynomial. So this is the least possibility, and we will prove that that is also a 0 transformation if you replace that x by t. So this is the minimal polynomial for t. So whenever t is diagonalizable, we have the minimal polynomial is a product of distinct linear factor. Now we will prove an interesting theorem. So you might have seen this theorem and used it in your plus 2 classes onwards, but you did not see the proof of this. So here we will prove the Cayley-Hamilton theorem. Let T belongs to L of V. V is a finite dimensional vector space. If F is the characteristic polynomial for T, then F of T equal to 0. So this theorem can also be considered in another way, that the minimal polynomial for T divides the characteristic polynomial. Because if this f of, once you prove this f of t, once you will prove the statement f of t equal to 0, then we can say that f is an annihilating polynomial. Okay, annihilating polynomial. Then we know that every annihilating, if f is annihilating polynomial, this belongs to the set of all annihilating polynomials, and set of all annihilating polynomials has the generator as the monic generator as p of x. So every element of the set S is a multiple of p of x. P is the minimal polynomial. Then thus f is also a multiple of p. So p into q. So we can interpret this result as minimal polynomial divides the characteristic polynomial. Okay, once you prove this, you can easily verify this result as well. To prove this, we start with a basis, an ordered basis B consisting of alpha 1 etc alpha n of V. Then we know that the matrix of T can be obtained using this B. That means matrix of T with respect to B is Aij, the matrix Aij. Then we define this Aij in such a way that T alpha I is equal to summation j is equal to 1 to n Aji alpha j. Okay, this is true for I is equal to 1. The variation of this j is equal to 1 to n. I is equal to 1 to n. Okay, now this is the definition of the matrix of T. Okay, if that means if you have T alpha 1 is equal to A1 1 alpha 1, A2 1 alpha 2, A3 1 alpha 3 etc. So that will constitute the first column. Okay, in the similar way we can define for I equal to 2 3 4 etc. and so this defines a matrix. Okay, now you rewrite this as T alpha I is equal minus this summation, we write it as summation j is equal to 1 to n, we write this Aj I alpha j is equal to 0. When you transpose this to the left hand side, okay, Now this also true for I is equal to 1 2 3 etc. n. Now you rewrite this as, this implies summation j is equal to 1 to n delta I j t minus a j I of alpha j is equal to 0. When we have j is equal to 1, okay, this quantity will be 0. Okay, j is equal to, when j is equal to I, we have this quantity is 1. At that time we have t of alpha I is here. Okay, so all the other terms will be, all the term corresponding to j is equal to 1 2 3 etc. and this will be 0. Okay, so this will gives by expanding you can get this one. Okay, now this implies, what is the meaning of this? Meaning of this is, if we replace this quantity, this delta ijt minus ajii by this bij, if we write this as bij, that is nothing but delta ijt minus aji. If we replace this, then what is the matrix B? So B is obtained by putting I equal to 1, j equal to 1 first, that is B11. What is B11? That is delta 11, that is T minus, here we have A11I. Okay, now what is the second term? Second term will be, this is B12, the second and the first row, B12, then this term will be 0. Then we have, this is 1 2, then we have 2 1 here, that is minus A21I etc. minus A n1I. Okay, so then for the second row we have, the first term will be B21. Okay, B21, for this B21 we have delta 21 is 0, here that is 0, this is minus A12I, and the diagonal we have t minus 2, that is I equal to 2, j equal to 2. So we have A22I etc. Last we have an2I. At last we have the matrix minus a1ni etc etc. The last term will be t minus anni. So this is the matrix B. Okay, if you write this matrix, we know that determinant of B is same as determinant of B transpose. Okay, for this matrix determinant of B is same as determinant of B transpose. But determinant of B transpose is nothing but f of t. F of t is nothing but, f is the characteristic polynomial. Then characteristic polynomial is defined as the determinant of the matrix t minus xi. So this is the characteristic polynomial. So f of t will be determinant of the matrix t minus this, instead of this f of x we have determinant of this matrix, that is determinant of the matrix of t minus xi, that will be t minus, here we have this instead of t we have used the matrix of t. So we have this is, we will write this is same as the determinant of xi minus t, and instead of t we use the matrix of t here. The matrix of t is aij, then that will be that can be written as, this is equal to determinant of the matrix xi minus t, that is xi minus t means x minus a11 minus a12 etc. minus a1n, and x minus, sorry, this term will be minus a21 x minus a22 etc. minus a2n, and last we have minus an1 etc. The last term will be x minus ann. So this is the matrix xi minus t. So determinant of this is nothing but, first find the determinant of this and put t here, then this implies f of t gives the matrix, f of t is the matrix, this t minus a11 minus a12 etc. minus a1n, this is minus a to 1, this is a to 1, and t minus this is a11i, a I, etc. So this matrix is nothing but the transpose of this. So determinant of B transpose is same as f of t. So once you define using the definition of the matrix of T, once you define Bij in this manner, you can get determinant of B is same as f of t. So in order to prove this f of t equal to 0, it is enough to prove that determinant B is a linear operator here. Determinant of this matrix will be a polynomial expressions in T and I, so that will give a linear operator. Then determinant of B of alpha equal to 0 for every alpha. Okay, so in fact we need to prove that the determinant of B of alpha equals 0 for all alpha. So in order to prove this result, it is enough to prove that determinant of B of alpha arbitrary j, this is alpha 1, alpha 2, etc. alpha n is a basis vector. So if you choose such basis vector, arbitrary basis vector, if once you prove this determinant of B of alpha j equal to 0 for all j, then you can easily get this one. Okay, if this linear transformation gives 0 at every basis vector, then that linear transformation gives 0 for every vector. Okay, so it is enough to show that determinant of this matrix is a linear zero transformation. That means determinant of B of alpha j equal to 0 for all j. So this is it is enough to show that this quantity is 0. To prove this result, we define B tilde. B tilde is the adjoint of B, and we know that adjoint of if this B tilde is the adjoint of B, then we know that the result adjoint B into determinant in adjoint B into B is equal to determinant B times I. Okay, so this is the result. That means B tilde times B gives determinant B times the identity transformation or identity matrix. Okay, so what is the arbitrary element of this product? That is summation. If you write summation j is equal to 1 to n b k I tilde. So this is the kith entry of adjoint of B, and Bij of alpha j equal to 0. This is nothing but the definition of Bij. We already defined that Bij is equal to the entries in that expression, that is delta ijt minus ajii, and we have proved that or we have obtained that summation j equal to 1 to n delta ijt minus ajii of alpha j equal to 0. From this from these two equations you can easily get summation j is equal to 1 to n bij. This can be replaced by bij alpha j is equal to 0. Okay, once you have this result Bij alpha j is equal to 0, then you can easily write this quantity is equal to 0, because this quantity is independent of j, that can be taken out. Okay, so when this is equal to 0, when you multiply this with bki tilde, then you have bki tilde of this quantity equal to 0, consequently this will be 0. Okay, now we have j is equal to 1 to n bki bij alpha j equal to 0 for all k varies over 1, 2, 3, etc. n. So this is true for every k and I, because these are independent of j. Okay, so for every k and I varies from again 1 to n, you have this result is equal to 0. Okay, now you write 0 equal to summation I equal to 1 to n summation j is equal to 1 to n b k I tilde bij of alpha j, because if you add this for for I is equal to 1, I equal to 2, I equal to 3, etc., I equal to n. So we have summation I equal to 1 to n this quantity. Okay, that is also 0. So this is equal to summation. You can interchange. This contains only a finite number of terms. Then you can easily interchange this summation. That will cause the order of the summation. So that will is equal to sigma j is equal to 1 to n first. Then you write summation I is equal to 1 to n b k I tilde b I j and alpha j. But we know that this summation is summation over I. So alpha j is independent here. So you can take it out. So this times alpha j. So this is equal to summation j is equal to 1 to n. This is the kjth entry of identity transformation. Okay, because we know that b tilde b is equal to determinant b into in. So this is the kjth entry of the matrix determinant a into in. So that will give the delta kj determinant b times alpha j. So this will give the kjth entry. Kjth entry of this matrix is nothing but dit b in the diagonal and dit b in the again diagonal. All the diagonal entries are dit b and rest of them are 0. So the jkth entry of this matrix can be written as delta kj dit b alpha j. Okay, so this is equal to, we can write this as 0 equal to summation this summation j equal to 1 to n kj dit b alpha j. This j varies over 1 to n. When this j is equal to k, okay, you can, this quantity is equal to 1. All other quantities are 0. Therefore, for j is equal to k, we have a non-zero term. All the others are 0, other quantities are 0. Then when put j is equal to k, we can get delta kk, that is 1 times determinant b and alpha k. This implies determinant b of alpha k equal to 0 for all k varies over 1 to n. Okay, so this proves determinant b of alpha j equal to 0 for all alpha j. So this shows that a determinant b equal to 0 transformation. So determinant b is a 0 transformation. Consequently, f of t is a 0 transformation. This proves Cayley-Hamilton theorem. So this is the very important named theorem. With this, we can conclude the section 6.3. The next class we will discuss section 6.4, invariance of spaces.